Welcome to Chalk Talk. I'm Mike Simpson, Superintendent of Guthrie Public Schools. Today we are joined by Guthrie High School Principal Chris Legrande and then two all-star seniors from the Guthrie High School class of 2023, Lydia Wells and Connor Irwin. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
So what we always try to do is before we get started with some of the questions that I want to ask you guys, just give us a little introduction. Tell us about yourself, and we'll start with ladies first.
As you said, I'm Lydia Wells. I'm the student body president at Guthrie High School. I'm involved in Mu Alpha Theta, NHS, student council's a big one, obviously. And then it also was just announced that I'm going to be valedictorian this year.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Connor?
I am Connor Irwin. I am involved in the concert and marching bands. I am in jazz and concert choir. I am in performance drama. I am a member of NHS. Pretty much any performing arts program at Guthrie High School, you'll see me in it. So.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of your performances, and very, very talented. We've got Mr. Legrande. You did a great job in selecting this week because we've got some folks that have really contributed a lot to the high school and made the most of their senior year, it appears. So let's talk a little bit about each of you and your plans after high school. What's next? Connor?
After graduation, I plan on attending Oklahoma City University and majoring as a Bachelor of Arts in Music major. It's a very versatile degree that will give me opportunities to explore multiple sides of music, both classical and more contemporary modern musical theater, at the same time as learning the history and Mozart and Beethoven and all of that all together.
Great school with an unbelievable music program.
Yes.
It's an awesome choice there. Lydia?
So I plan on attending UCO and getting my business degree and then going on to get my esthetician license and then hopefully eventually open up my own med spa.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, you guys have great dreams and plans, and I applaud you for mapping out your future. It's a sign that you've maybe had some good leadership from your parents and from our staff. I like that.
Absolutely.
Tell us what it's like to be a student as a senior at Guthrie High School.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, you experience everything. I mean, it's just wonderful being on top of the food chain finally. You know, we get to be the one to lead all the chants in the student section and everything. And then also, right now I'm enrolled in OSU concurrent as well. So I'm getting to experience those college classes while still getting to experience the high school. And it's just really nice. And with that comes freedom, you know. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I have 3 classes that I don't actually take at the high school, but I still get to spend all my time there. So, I don't know. It's really fun, you know.
And what are you taking from OSU right now?
Last semester I did Comp 1 and then college algebra, and now I'm in Comp 2 in psychology.
Oh, so. Great. Good to get those out of the way. Those freshman level courses, having them behind you, so you can get when you go to UCO, you've got a whole lot of things that maybe have more interest to you that you can jump into. Connor?
Well, to put it mildly, it's surreal. It feels like yesterday. I was walking the halls as a freshman, scared, looking for my next class, you know, and now I've just become so familiar with the campus and the people, and I could tell you where anything is and what the best time to go here, and you know, and it's really nice. It feels like I feel content. I feel calm. There's never a day where I'm questioning, am I going to be okay today at school or anything, because it's become so routine and relaxing. So
that's good.
Well, and you know, one thing I was going to point out too that I'm so proud of these kids is that at Guthrie High School, we make it a very concerted effort to really try to give kids more responsibility as they mature and grow older. And you kind of hit the nail on the head when you mentioned that, you know, by the time you're a senior, you've kind of got these things figured out. You've got the opportunity to take concurrent classes outside of the building. And it's just an opportunity to progress along in your academic careers. And both of these students I'm extremely proud of and what they've accomplished in their time at GHS.
You know, one of the things that I really like about our school district is the size of it, because we have the ability to offer a whole lot of things, but we're still family, we're still community. Think about this, and this is kind of a measure that I always think about as a parent even. you take the largest school district in the state right now is Broken Arrow, and they're gonna graduate probably 1,200, 1,300 kids. What are the chances on graduation night that their seniors are going to know the people on either side of them? Probably pretty slim, but you guys
Definitely.
will.
Oh, for sure.
You guys will know the people on both sides. You may not like them, but you'll know. But you think about that. That's something that I think is special about our place, and that's something that I'm really proud of. And so, kind of segueing in, Lydia, what's your best memory of being a student?
Honestly, probably, I don't think I could pick just one, but always just seeing like everyone win. I mean, just this past weekend we had 4 state champions in wrestling. I mean, that's just so fun to watch. Last year we won regionals for softball, and this year I wasn't a part of the team, but still just like seeing them win that first round of state was awesome. Even if I wasn't able to celebrate with them on the field, it was just so amazing to see them. I mean, just winning all around. Like, everyone's always winning, I feel like, and it's really fun to get to experience that.
Well, they're your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Connor?
Wow, what a loaded question. I don't, goodness, I don't know how to formulate a good answer for you. It's really nice seeing people grow. It's really nice. Like just this year, I took my performance drama class with Miss Treadaway, and that class is full of people who don't normally dip their toes into the worlds of the fine arts, and it's really refreshing to see students that wouldn't normally take on something like that. And I see that everywhere around the school, like people who are stepping up and getting involved, and it's just really, really nice to see. That's why I love being a student here so much.
And you're exposed to people that you might not be around much,
right?
Otherwise, and that's one of the things. Kind of going back to the size of our school, if you're in a really large high school, those people probably don't step into those opportunities,
right?
I learned a long time ago, you have to be uncomfortable to grow. And when you're uncomfortable, you don't realize it, but you are growing. And the things that can make you uncomfortable can be performance in front of people. It can be competition in athletics. It can be all of those things. And so that's something that I really appreciate what you said there, because, the friendships that you form now, are memories that you'll look back on and really treasure, I can assure you.
Well, and one thing too that Lydia mentioned about just the winning, and oftentimes we correlate winning to athletic competition. But what is so beautiful about Guthrie High School is we have such a variety of offerings for our students, and we win in those too. For example, JROTC, they went to a robotics competition just a few weeks ago and did very well. Our drama, our choir, our bands, they entered. I mean, we have the ensemble and solo contest this weekend,
yes.
and our kids do well in those. So I just want everyone out there to understand that we do well in athletics, and we hang our hat on that, but we also produce winners and all the other extracurriculars that we provide as well.
Well, and I think we've talked about this before. I'm not sure that we have more success in our fine arts than many people would ever imagine because of the very talented students that we have. And I'll confess, I was in choir in high school too, and I sang solos at contests.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and so I know the work that goes into that. In addition to being involved in athletics, I know the work that goes into that. And it's not just something where you get some sheet music and you start singing. I mean, there's a whole lot of, and I this year, because of the construction at the high school, I probably spent more time in the high school this year than I have.
Yeah.
But I'm up there in the afternoons and the evenings, and I get down on that far north end, and I hear the choir room buzzing with students that are working, and then I go to the eSports in the computer lab, and I see all the things that are going on there. And you walk by the gym, and you got the basketball teams working out. And
There's never a dull moment.
No, and it's you never know what you're going to find at the high school. Finish this sentence. Guthrie High School is.
I'll say Guthrie High School was. Guthrie High School was an amazing building block. It was an amazing piece of foundation that has grown me as a student, that has helped me grow as a performer, that has helped me grow in so many ways that I will forever be thankful for. And I'm thankful for my fellow students for supporting me, and the staff, because they are the reason that I am who I am right now. And it's that foundation. It's that I can only grow, and it's only up from here. So
that's great. That's great, Lydia.
I would say it's probably my home away from home, or my second home.
Yeah.
You spend all day there, 5 days a week, and even, on the weekends, I'm usually at a sporting event or still with those same classmates. You grow relationships with everyone there. The teachers, the staff, the students, everyone there. You have a home. So. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hard place to leave.
So let's talk a little bit about our community. What makes our community special?
Oh, I'd say the support, 100%. With Student Council, I've gotten to see that a little bit of a different view, I would say. And with Rock Week, Pink Week, all of it. We raised $13,000 for Pink Week this year, which was just crazy because I don't know if I'm correct on this, but I think that the most we've ever raised before this year was around $8,000 or $9,000. So just getting to be a part of that was amazing. But the community support is always there. Even whenever we support other communities too, with that football player from Woodward,
Sure.
Yeah. Landon Herzl actually came up with the idea, and we just did that in 24 hours. Got the fundraiser approval, all that stuff, and it's just amazing how much our community supports each other and everyone else, and it's definitely something.
You mentioned that, and for the listeners that are unaware, Woodward had a football player that was injured at the start of the football season. I think it was the first practice with pads, and I was a part of the presentation to the family, and to see their emotion, because their son's down in Oklahoma City in the hospital, and they came up for the game and they were going back, and to see that and understand the generous nature of our community for a kid that realistically we didn't know.
No, not at all.
To see that emotion on their eyes, knowing that their son is in the hospital, and it was really, it was pretty special.
Yeah, and we didn't even really notify anyone. We didn't know we were really even going to get to do it until that Friday. So we were just trying to get everything prepared. We didn't really post anything on Facebook. So no one in the community even really knew that it was going to happen. We just said it over the Overcom, and we raised over $3,000.
Yeah.
So that's just, it's impressive what our community can do.
That's great. Connor?
I think our community, both the high school and just Guthrie in general, has that small town charm. You can't go anywhere without seeing someone you know. It's really, really nice to have such a close and intimate community, to always have a friend to call, always have someone to talk to, or someone that understands what you're going through, or just fully gets everything that's going on. And so that's why I love our high school so much, even though it's not, like you said, it's not the biggest community. It's just really nice to have those people to always be able to go to when you need someone.
That's good. This kind of segues into what sets us apart from other places. Connor?
What sets us apart? I think it's how much our school does. Like Lydia said, we have Rock Week and Pink Week and all of those very, very special times in our school year that benefit so much and that help our community grow so much. And not that I don't think that other communities don't do that, but the way we do it just brings us all together, everyone together. It's amazing to see. I think those times particularly.
Okay, Lydia?
I would say like the hometown support, every Friday night, those stands are filled. I mean, it's just, and like Red Brick Nights, our community is just always coming together. We're always hanging out, doing whatever we can, finding something to go do on a weekend to just bring us all together.
We moved here almost 11 years ago, and the things that when people say, well, there's nothing to do, there's always something to do in this community. And usually it really doesn't cost a lot of money. Red Brick Nights is free. I mean, you go to a high school football game and you're going to pay, I don't know, what, $7-10 or something like that. There's so many things going on. I think about the band and vocal concerts that we have at the Temple around the holidays. And that place is packed. That place is packed and it's free. And I've been going to those long enough to know that there's not only parents, there's people in the community that don't have kids involved, but they're showing up to watch our students and show off their talents. I mean, it's great stuff. So who's made a difference in your life at this point?
For me, Bill Paring. 100%. Our high school choir director, he's really been like a second father to me. He's taught me so much about not only being a musician, not only being a performer, but being a man, being a good, kind, generous person. And I really don't know where I would be without having him.
I would say definitely the teachers and my parents, for sure. I mean, they're always there. My parents have always done everything for me, been at everything that I've ever been involved in, always supporting me. But my biggest one would definitely be my grandpa. He's by far my number one fan. He's never missed a single thing. He was at every single softball game and every single track meet for my sister. He's just always there cheering us on.
Connor, you mentioned Mr. Paring, and the district was going through some tough times financially, and this is back when we still had first grade at Central. I'd wanted to get vocal music started there, and we couldn't afford a teacher. But I talked with Mr. Legrande, and we found a hole in his schedule that we could create and get him down there. And he didn't really want to do it. and then he kind of decided it was fun. And, he was bringing his high school students down there to help him and stuff like that. He took one for the team, so to speak, so that we could grow that program. And we did that. I got 2 years out of him, and then we found enough money that we could hire a vocal teacher. He was willing to do that and go the extra mile for kids, and that's he didn't make any more money doing it. It was something but he found he was willing to do that, and I'll forever be indebted to him for that, because I was trying to give us an opportunity to grow that program and increase the number of kids that we were serving there.
Well, and I'd like to add too, you look at each year when we have our Christmas concert at the Temple, and one of the highlights of the evening is when all the alumni get to come up at the end of the performance and join in, and you can just tell how endeared all of those former students and current students are to Mr. Paring, because just the show, the number and the volume of people that come back to be a part of that, and I know that's something Connor will probably do as he continues on and after he leaves, but yeah, just an invaluable asset to Guthrie Public Schools, and just the influence he's had over kids for over 25 plus years is just incredible.
Yeah, it's just a legacy that would be hard to match. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about, let's go back to March of 2020. Talk about the spring break that never ended and what that was like for you guys.
I'll go ahead. I think I got a little bit of a different perspective of it as a student because my sister was a senior that year. And so, they didn't get the graduation that they expected. They graduated in July at the Rock, but, they each got 2 or 3 tickets or whatever, So, it definitely showed me, that I need to, don't take what you have for granted, because, wow, we don't get to graduate at the Rock.
We can talk about that in a minute.
But, at least we get to graduate and we get to have all of our family and friends there to support us. And, all of our classmates will be there and we'll get to actually sit next to each other, So I think I definitely got a different perspective of that. But, I just did a lot of puzzles. That was me. We did lots of puzzles. It was fun.
Well, for me, it really just kind of time flashed by. Like it was 1 week, then it was 2 weeks, then it was 3 months. It went by so fast, and so much was changing, and there were so many close to us who were getting sick or getting hospitalized, and it was so tragic. But at the same time, we still had to find ways to find joy, and so we just did everything we could to, we held virtual choirs, and we had Zoom calls, and we would read scenes and act together, even though it was on a Zoom call, and so we did everything we could to stay together even when we couldn't stay together.
It's crazy how, looking back on it, how creative we got to try and interact with people, and that while it's true for you guys, it was true for us too. We were trying to keep some semblance of school when it really wasn't, but it was it was a fog in our time, I think.
And Lydia, I can certainly relate to, that other perspective. Your sister was a senior. Well, my oldest daughter was a senior in college, and their graduation was a virtual graduation.
Yeah.
So that was really heartbreaking for her. And then what I remember vividly, and I'm sure Dr. Simpson does too, is just with my children gathered around. One daughter was in college, so she was doing schoolwork, and then my other daughter was in high school at the time. So we're all just sitting around the dinner table and not having dinner, but with devices on our tables, and all working about like business as usual.
Right. Yeah. It was the new normal.
Yes.
I had to get out of the house at some point because both of our kids and they were working on their schoolwork. My wife at the time, she was a counselor in Edmond. Now she's in Guthrie, but she was having to virtually have counseling classes with her students. And I just said, I got to go. There wasn't anybody else in the building, but I went up to the office and
just a new scene.
Yeah. And the next year, we came back to school. Mask, no mask, mask, no masks, quarantines. What was that like?
I actually never got quarantined once.
Me neither.
I was one of the we were the
neither.
lucky ones. I just kept waiting and waiting, and it never happened. But I can remember we were on our bus getting ready to head to regionals for softball, and we got the call that 2 of our starters weren't going to get to play.
Yeah.
So, it definitely affected everyone. One man goes down, everyone, either someone has to step up or, but, yeah, it's definitely changed. Everything's online now. I have one class that I get papers in, but it's also nice at the same time because whenever you're absent, you can still make up that work and stuff. So it definitely changed things, and we adapted, but I don't know that it was for the worse. While the circumstances were not ideal, but we did get some good stuff out of it.
Yeah, I've said this a lot. Not everything that came out of COVID was bad. And I think our district had to step up with technology. We were woefully behind. I think you guys know that. We were behind other districts and everything else. But we were forced to do that, which was probably good for you guys be the beneficiaries of that. Connor?
I think COVID kind of really hurt our numbers in the arts programs, especially. We went from having 70 people in choir to now having 25. you know? So I don't know if that was because of, people were not coming back to school, or they just didn't want to lean back into that program because we're all so close together again, or what happened. But kind of ever since 2019, 2020, our numbers have really just kind of depleted, and it's hurt my heart to see. Yeah. But Mr. Paring makes a point to always say that though our numbers are maybe as small as when he first started, that doesn't mean that we're any worse. You know, we're still making beautiful music and creating art that could please hundreds.
Yeah.
So,
the quality's not dropped off a bit.
Absolutely.
And that was such a difficult time because school districts across the state were all over the map. They were going on A/B schedules. They were totally virtual. We were in school. Not everyone else was. And looking back on that year, we sent a lot of healthy students and staff home because of the quarantines, and that's why we kind of stepped out there a little bit early on that next year. I just said we're not quarantining anymore. You're sick, you stay home, and that way we navigated through it. But I watched all of our students that were healthy going home and not getting to learn. And I said, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, another thing that happened too was that Pink Week game, the football game that never happened, you know. Just
that was the Piedmont game.
And it was our Pink Week too. So, that was a couple $1,000s lost for our recipient as well. So, it doesn't just affect the football players, And of all games, of course, it had to be, the one that makes a difference for someone,
Okay, so if you could change one thing about Guthrie High School, what would it be?
The student involvement. It's definitely there, but you go to a football game and there's hundreds of students in that student section, and then you go to a softball game and you're lucky to see 5. So I don't know. It's definitely there. We do have a good support system. I just wish it was a little bit better for everything, and I'm sure Connor sees that too with drama. I mean, I'm guilty of that too. I've never gone to a choir performance, but I am going to a play tonight.
All right.
So I mean, I'm trying to get better about it myself, and I get people are busy, and it's easier to go to a football game on a Friday night and not have to get up early Saturday morning to go to school or work or whatever that is. But I don't know. I think that if everyone did support everything else as well as they do football, that we would have a better support system. But it's good for what it is,
I think the facilities, honestly, to keep it short and simple, we've not had a grand place to perform other than the Temple or other than Favor for a really long time. And those, even still, the Temple, I think, costs a lot of money on our programs, and then Favor, that auditorium is not great, and the stage isn't great. And so now we've moved to Fogarty, where the auditorium is great, but the stage itself has issues, and there aren't great dressing rooms. We have to use classrooms that are constantly being used by teachers and students, and we have to modify everything so that the students don't mess with our equipment. And so honestly, if I could change anything, a huge grand performing arts hall.
Yeah. When I was activities and athletic director at Stillwater, we built the Performing Arts Center there, and I saw how our programs took off from that. It's unfortunately we are so far behind on facilities as a district that we're just playing catch up right now, and my hope someday is that we will have that kind of facility. That's my hope and dream. One of the things when they were bringing me around after and in the process of hiring me as superintendent, I asked. There were a couple of board members who were taking me around. I said, "Can I see your Performing Arts Center?" Well, I think they were shocked that I cared or wanted to see. And well, then they took me to the temple and showed me that it's not ours. It's not free to use, and it's also, it's not truly a performing arts center.
Right.
It's more of a meeting hall that's got a lot of cool architecture.
Right. And that's the thing, like it would have to be something that could be used for any and all purposes,
Yeah.
at band and choir, and just having meetings in general, just a general public facility that belonged to the school that could be used for absolutely anything,
Yeah. And that's something that, again, I hope that someday we can have a serious discussion about that, because I know I would love to see facilities worthy of what our students do. And that's something that it's a work in progress without a doubt. What's something we should never change?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Something we should never change. Our mascot.
Okay.
I think the Blue Jay represents so much power and resilience. I think it beautifully represents our school and our athletics and our arts and our everything, because it's so powerful and it's got that fight, that kick that really can overcome anything.
That grit and tenacity.
Absolutely.
That's what I
Yeah.
like to say.
That grit and
Yeah.
tenacity.
That's a great point. I mean, and what I was going to say, Dr. Simpson's too, along that line, is just that when I think of that, and I'm sure Lydia has her own response, but just our homecoming that we put on each and every year. I mean, nothing rivals.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you say that, Connor, because just this year we brought back, our theme was, decades. So we brought back on our T-shirt, we had every single Blue Jay that we could find and kind of listed the year of it. And they've adapted, that's for sure. The first one kind of looks like a chicken, but yeah, it's definitely changed over the years. But I would probably say the staff, obviously it's going to change, you're going to have teachers retire or move on or whatever. But just like the staff at Guthrie High School is amazing. They're always supportive. They can tell when you're off and help you get back to where you need to be. Coach Myers is one that I'm obviously close with because of student council, and he knows when you're off, but he also knows how to bring you back up. He's really good at that. Miss Janetta in the North office, she's one of my favorites. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met, and I just, you guys do a really good job of hiring people like that. They're a good support system for sure.
Yeah, that's Mr. Legrande.
Well, that's the thing. And, I'll tell you, just so you guys know, when we set out to hire new people, one thing that we look for are people that love kids and want to be a part of a family culture, because that's very, very important to us. And I mean, anybody can just show up and come to work each day and leave at the end of the day and, let's do it again tomorrow. But people that really have a heart for kids, love kids, want to see kids do well, and that's our goal, is that we're always trying to upgrade. When someone leaves, we're like, well, that's an opportunity to improve and get better. And so that's the mindset that you have to have, because you're right, people are going to come and go, life's going to happen, but when we have openings, it's an opportunity to get better and to improve and to put people out there that will help our kids excel and become successful young people.
I think the whole thing has to revolve around putting kids first, and I've always believed that. And sometimes Mr. Legrande and myself have been forced into decisions where we didn't like any of the options, but every time that we have an opportunity, we want to try and put our students first. And I think that's something that I was told a long time ago when I was a young educator, that if you'll do that in this profession, you're always going to win. And I think that's something that we try to do every time. And I'm so pleased to see the product of that with you guys, because both of you have a plan. You've got direction. You've got your dreams in front of you. Guthrie High School isn't the end for you. And that's something that that's our goal. And that's something that I'm really encouraged by having this conversation with you guys. So, all right. Now you got a chance to ask me or Mr. Legrande whatever question you'd like if you want to.
Okay, I think I know the answer to this, but graduation at the Rock, what are the odds?
It's going to be at the Lazy E.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, there's absolutely no chance.
Yeah, and here's why.
Is it weather?
Yeah, and that's the big thing. If we have it at the Rock, we schedule it for there, and we have a weather event. What we would do is we would move it to Saturday afternoon at the Rock. If the weather is still there, then it would go to Saturday evening in the gym, and each senior gets 2 tickets.
Right.
That has happened, not since I've been superintendent, but that has happened before. It's a little bit more tolerable now that we've air conditioned the gym and we've got new seats, but this way, we'd never have to worry about limiting the number of people that come, and we take weather out of the equation. I don't want, nor does Mr. Legrande want to be the person that says, you guys have been a great seniors for Guthrie High School, and we appreciate all that you've done, and here's 2 tickets, and that's all that can come to graduation. That taking weather out of the equation, and we've had several times just in the time that I've been here, I can count of 3 where we moved it at the last minute to the Lazy E, one of which we had almost a flood, and we were able to have the graduation that night. One that we were, it was starting to cloud up as we started, and they had the garage door open on the north end, and there's this clap of thunder, and it was like the skies just opened in the middle of the ceremony. And if we had been at the Rock for those events, we would have probably had to stop in the middle. Maybe we could revisit the next day, but all of the people that maybe had flights, that next morning even. And that's why, look, if a perfect night at the Rock, you can't beat it. But rolling the dice in May for a perfect night outdoors is not something, if we can take that out of the equation, that I want to mess with. Yeah. Because I don't want to have to tell you guys, you just get 2 tickets,
right.
and if you need more, you talk to one of your classmates and see if you can give them $100 for one of their tickets.
Well, and the fact too, like Dr. Simpson mentioned, just the fact that it's climate controlled, and I've done enough of these now to know that there's been several graduations at the Rock where it's so windy that we've got to put sandbags on the flags so that they don't blow over. And then when you try to get up and our speakers, our valedictorians speak, and our choir begins to sing, you can just hear the whoosh, across the microphone and the PA system. So that sometimes can be distracting during the ceremony. And so when we're inside in that climate controlled environment like that, it just makes it's like you said, it's that perfect environment that you're not always guaranteed in the month of May.
Well, my question is, are you guys coming to see Dearly Departed?
Now, when are the other performances?
We have one on Friday.
I'm going to try to make it Friday night because I want to see it. I've not watched a performance in the Fogarty Auditorium like that as well. I wanted to see how that, the Favor Auditorium, I know you guys did a whole bunch of work on that stage. But the seating in there had just gotten...
It's atrocious.
Yeah, and it is dangerous. I mean, it really was, and I'm not doing that just because I sat down in one of the chairs and it broke, but it did happen. The last time we had a musical in there. We've done a whole lot of work on the seating, and the Favor or the Fogarty Auditorium does have its limitations with the stage, but the seating is so much better than anything else that we have. So hopefully that'll work out, and maybe we can adapt gradually to make that a better home for you guys.
what I'm looking forward to the most is the fact that we've got students that normally aren't in a musical production or in a drama production in this case.
One of which we've had on this podcast.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He plays my brother.
All right.
Yeah, I'm ready for the fight scene.
Some fists go flying. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, we've gotten to see some previews of them up on the cafeteria stage, and it looks like it's going to be a good one.
All right.
It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's laugh out loud funny. And I hope everyone gets a chance to come and see it. It's so hilarious.
Well, let's hope we can pack that auditorium. That's great. You guys got anything else?
No?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, hey, I can't thank you guys enough for joining us today. It was a whole lot of fun. We started this year, and I get a real charge out of being around you guys and hearing about what's happened in the past, what your dreams are for the future. So all I can say is best of luck to both of you, and know that Guthrie will always be home wherever you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Chalk Talk on the podcast. We've been joined by Lydia Wells, Connor Irwin, and high school principal Chris Legrande. And as always, we want to thank our producer-engineer, Aaron Ryburn, for his work as well. And we look forward to another podcast where we will find some outstanding Guthrie High School seniors and talk to them. Thanks so much for joining us.